everyone. Um, Sorry I'm about 5 minutes late, but I was again dealing with all that stuff, trying to get all the technical stuff still done. Still learning StreamYard from behind the scenes, but glad to have you all here with me today. It is March the 1st, 2026. So, how are you guys doing in this lovely month of March? Um, I have so many birthdays in this month that it is almost ridiculous. So, my middle baby, Jay, shout out to Jay in college at UNC Pembroke. He is a dues paying member of the North Carolina Green Party, as well as the Yes Caucus of the Green Party US. And he's currently going to UNC, and his birthday is actually at the end of the month. I also have my cousin daughter. I'm going to say it like that. Jada, shout out to Jada. She's at the HBCU, Fayetteville State University. She's looking into being a Green Party member. So let's hope for that. She does kind of lean that way. And again, she's at the HBCU, Fayetteville State University. So those are my March babies. I also have a couple of friends and cousins with March birthdays as well. Shout out to Elsie and her girls. So we have quite a few March birthdays. And if your birthday is in March and you'd like a shout out on the show, you're Green Party adjacent, go ahead and let me know. You can hit me up at linktr.ee/Green Party _T. Contact me and we'll set something up. Also, if you'd like an interview and you are a Green Party candidate, go ahead and hit up that link as well so we can set up an interview, since I am now using this wonderful StreamYard platform and we can get things done. So it's Green Party Tea Sundays. What are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to get in some tea, as it were, and we're going to talk about some things. So I'm trying to get everything aligned and things like that, because there's a lot going on. Okay, so petitioning has started with the Illinois Green Party. So if you are in Illinois and surrounding area and can help out with petitioning for the Illinois Green Party, please do so. You can Google Illinois Green Party and their information will come up for you to help them with their petitioning. If there are other states out there working with the Green Party who are in the petitioning phase, please again let me know with that nice little link that's going across the screen, and I'd be happy to get that information put up here as well. Speaking of petitioning for the Illinois Green Party, that means that their Saturdays are kind of booked. So while they're in the petitioning phase, the Green live stream hosted by the Illinois Green Party, Edie and Scott, is going to actually be moving to Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So they'll be coming on right after me. So even though I was 5 minutes late today, I am going to end on time because their show is happening right after mine. And they do the daily news, weekly news. So there's going to be probably a lot of Iran talk, probably a lot of Epstein file talks, and everything else that's going on around the country. So look forward to that, because so many things are going on. Speaking of all of those wonderful things that are going on, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way, because I know a lot of people are talking about it, and it's very important for us to stop, take a listen to, and those types of things. So on February 27, 2026, the Green Party did put out a press release stating the Green Party advocates for the immediate abolition of ICE and the removal of corporate politicians from office. Quote, "We need a popular movement to oppose Trump's destruction of our country. The Republicans have abandoned all principled behavior, while the Democrats refuse to confront Trump aggressively. Congress must join the American people to restrict the fascist efforts of the Trump administration," end quote, said Cassandra Lim's National Party co-chair. The party called for the United States to reject any toward any move toward war with Iran, and call for an immediate end to all sanctions that crush ordinary people and fuel global instability. Diplomacy, human rights, and mutual respect, not punitive measures such as sanctions, are needed to engage in peaceful negotiations that uphold self determination and justice for all parties. Next, immediately end the decades long economic embargo and all course of its sanctions on Cuba. Recognizing that collective punishment is neither a path to democracy nor a moral foreign policy, these measures have choked the island's economy, restricted access to medicine and food, and inflicted suffering on ordinary people while failing to achieve their stated political aims. Then, confront the rising cost of energy by halting the misguided investments to fossil fuel infrastructure and redirecting funding to cheaper renewable energy conservation and battery storage. Enact an eco-socialist Green New Deal. That, by the way, was stolen. Again, I'm going to say by AOC. Yes, you did know who we were and are AOC Pelosi, and you stole that from us. Thank you very much. Return it to its rightful owner since you don't know anything about us, except for when elections come around because, voting. Sorry. Enact an eco-socialist Green New Deal that combines a 10-year transition to zero emissions with an economic bill of rights, single-payer health care, guaranteed living wage, jobs and income, free college education, and affordable housing. Yes, we need that. It's not real, doesn't need that. We do. Okay. Develop affordable housing with increased public subsidies, primarily through the construction of quality public housing. We're going to talk about something about that what Bush Ware said. I'm sorry. Slash the military budget by at least 50% and halt efforts to militarily and economically overthrow foreign governments such as Venezuela, Iran, and Cuba. Halt the funding of Israel's genocide in Gaza and support justice and peace for both Palestinians and Israelis. Halt the funding for Israel's aggression against its neighbors, its occupation of Lebanon and Syria, and its violation of ceasefire in Lebanon. Restore the independence of Justice Department rather than politicizing it to prosecute Trump's opponents. Reject Trump's massive assault on election integrity while reenacting reforms such as ranked choice voting, ting, proportional representation, and full public campaign financing. And finally, prosecute Trump for his ongoing corruption that brazenly enriches himself and his family members. Immediate release all Jeffrey Epstein files, related files with appropriate protections for survivors' privacy, and an independent, transparent investigation into every individual implicated in the trafficking and abuse of children and adults. Now, if you notice, I said at the beginning that this was done on February 27th. And then in the great month of Black history, what did the Trump administration decide to do on the last day? They attacked Iran. Yes, the U.S. has now attacked Iran. And what does that get us? A bunch of nothing. That's right. A bunch of nothing have we gotten from the attack in Iran. So that first part that we were asking for already has not been complied with. And trust and believe there is more to come from the Green Party on these developing situations. Because as you know, the Green Party is not just in the U.S. The Green Party is national. Well, I don't want to say universal, but it's not national. What is it? Worldwide. There we go. And speaking of it being worldwide, there have been some huge gains for Green parties in different countries. What will it take to see a Green Party in the United States of America? If we've had Biden as the Democrat genocidal chief, and now we've had Trump as the Israel first chief, knowing all about these things about the Epstein files and everything else that we know, and how government is being bought and paid for by corporations, APAC is basically funding almost every politician there is. It's amazing that we're even talking about what can we do to make the Green Party bigger in America, I would say vote Green Party or stop voting for the lesser of two evils, because as you can see, you're only getting evil. Case in point. So the Democrats, who say that they don't want war, have unilaterally decided that they weren't going to push for the bill that would stop Trump from being able to do the things that he's doing, even though he admitted illegally that he did prompt this war on Iran unilaterally. Well, the Democrats decided we're going to slow walk this pony. We're going to just let him, do his thing. And we're going to go home for the weekend. We'll talk about this on Monday, because, your tax dollars don't pay for us to be at work on the weekends. And so on the last day of Black History Month, on a Saturday, no less, when Congress was not in session, the President of the United States commits to attack Iran. Now, reports are coming out about this, that, and the third, but in case I have gotten it from some source that I trust, I am not believing it. So I'm not even going to talk about it. I will let that go for the Green Line Street later, who does that kind of news. However, I will say, if the Iranian Supreme Leader, Khamenei, has indeed passed, my condolences to his family, his friends, and his country for the loss of their leader. I am not going to say that every leader is perfect, because we haven't had a perfect leader in the United States of America since the United States of America existed, since it was first colonized, since the first Europeans set foot on this soil. There has not been a good leader from the United States. So I will not say that. I cannot say that there has been a perfect leader or a great leader across any of the world. But what I can say is that we have oftentimes seen colonial and regime change come from the United States or other Western superpowers, because they do not like what is going on in another country like Cuba, Venezuela. So they will do whatever they can, especially Haiti, to topple their governments. So the regime change that does happen afterwards, it kind of flows in with what the US wants or the other Western powers. Take a look at what happened in Syria. It is a mess. It's a mess and a half in Syria. Syrians don't know what they want. The new people that are in charge in Syria don't know what they want. Everybody is fighting for what they think they need to fight for, and nobody is getting anywhere, but people are still being killed daily. And things are not going the way that everybody would want them to go. So if you take a look at regime changes over the last 2 decades and you see the ties back to America, you will see what's going on with that country. Let's take Libya, for example. Let's look at Muammar Gaddafi and see exactly what was being said by other places around the world, instead of just using our own corporate backed news media, because our corporate media does not give us all the information. As you can see right about now, they're not talking about the things that they should be talking about. Instead, they're probably still going off of the State of the Union address, which admittedly I did not watch, because I did not want to sit through the boring facade of governance at this point in time, because the only thing that he was going to do is lie. And my philosophy is, 2 things I don't like is liars and thieves. If they'll lie, they'll cheat. If they'll cheat, they'll lie and they'll steal. It's the same difference. They'll even kill at that point in time. What wouldn't they do? So, being that, I have no faith in the peace council that the Trump just basically said, hey, give me money and we'll do things. And the Green Party has called for that to be taken away, because that's kind of like Doge in a way. When they created that with Elon Musk at the helm, it's like, yeah, we're going to do all this stuff. Whatever came of that, we don't know, because nobody's talking. I was watching a clip and they were talking about there's no more gold at Fort Knox. And I was like, not another conspiracy theory strain, but I promise you that's probably where it's going. So that being said, when we are looking at different things going on. Oh, hi, Edie. Hi. I'm sorry. I just saw I just saw it, and it was like, oh my gosh. So hi, Edie. Thank you so much for dropping in and showing up today. And I did shout out the show, of course, because I know you guys are going to do such a great job and you're much more prepared and better at this than I am. I'm going to stick to the Green Party Tia thing. So, going back with that, the Green Party is more in line with that anti-war. They are more in line with the non-violence part of thing. Edie says they melted the gold for Trump's ballroom. Oh, and Scott's here too. Hey, Scott. Hi. Oh, I'm so happy and excited. This is the Green live stream, guys, and they are showing love and support. Thank you, guys. And I'll be there at your show right after mine. So if you don't already follow the Green live stream, please follow them. They're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I believe Instagram, I'm not sure, but they are all over the place. So please, 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 right after me, you're going to go right on over to the Green live stream. And watch their news for the weekend because I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. So, we did actually have a few different things coming out also about that. And I'm going to read one of the press releases that I know was done for North Carolina. I'm not sure if any of the other states do have any press releases about this event. And if they do, please follow that link and send it to me, and I will most definitely read your press releases as well. So for media press release, this was done yesterday. Contact person is me because I'm a North Carolina Green Party spokesperson. So the North Carolina Green Party condemns U.S.-Israeli Operation Epic Fury on Iran, calls for immediate halt to escalating war. Pittsboro, North Carolina. The North Carolina Green Party today issued an urgent condemnation of the joint U.S.-Israeli military strikes launched against Iran earlier today, February 28, 2026, warning that the rapidly escalating conflict threatens to engulf the entire Middle East region in catastrophic warfare. At approximately 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and this was yesterday, the United States and Israel initiated major combat operations against Iran, with President Donald Trump announcing what he termed Operation Epic Fury, a campaign he described as massive and ongoing, aimed at eliminating what the administration claims are imminent threats from the Iranian regime. The strikes targeted multiple locations across Iran, including areas near the compound of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Tehran and the offices of President Masoud Pezeshkian. I think I said that wrong. I know I did. Iran has responded with retaliatory strikes toward U.S. and Israel military assets across the Middle East. Explosions have been reported in Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Jordan. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards announced they have inflicted heavy damage on a U.S. military support ship in the region and warned that all American naval assets are now within range of Iranian missiles and drones. Today, the United States launched an unprovoked war of aggression against Iran, and North Carolinians must understand the gravity of this moment. Said by me. President Trump announced this military campaign while sitting comfortably at his Mar-a-Lago estate, far from any danger, while Iranian civilians, including 85 people reportedly killed in a strike on a school in Tehran in southern Iran, pay the ultimate price. This is not defense. This is not keeping America safe. This is imperial war, plain and simple. Today's escalating crisis, targeted leadership. Israeli military officials confirmed their strikes targeted Iran's supreme leader, president, and head of the armed forces. While both Iranian leaders are reported alive, the unprecedented targeting of head of state compounds marks a dramatic escalation. And remember, this is from yesterday. Widespread retaliation. Iran has launched multiple waves of missiles toward Israel and U.S. bases throughout the Gulf region. U.S. Central Command has confirmed attacks on facilities in Bahrain, home to the U.S. fleet. Civilian impact. Iranian hospitals in Tehran have declared emergencies following the strikes. A strike on a school in southern Iran reportedly killed 85 people, according to Iranian president. Global disruption. All flights in and out of Dubai's major airports, the world busiest for international travel, have been suspended indefinitely. Iran and Iraq have closed their airspace entirely, and multiple international airlines have canceled regional flights. Internet blackout. Iran is expecting a near total internet blackout with national connectivity at just 4%, according to NetBlocks, cutting off Iranian civilians from the outside world and each other. So, the Green Party's response: the North Carolina Green Party's opposition to this war is rooted in the four pillars of green politics: nonviolence. Military action against Iran constitutes an act of war that has already led to civilian casualties and will inevitably cause regional destabilization and prolonged suffering. Ecological wisdom. War is among the most environmentally destructive human activities, releasing massive carbon emissions and causing ecological devastation that will last generations. Social justice. Working class people bear the brunt of war through military service, economic disruption, and the diversion of public funds from human needs to weapons. Grassroots democracy. Decisions for war are made without the consent of the governed, bypassing congressional authority. Today's strikes occurred while U.S. and Iranian officials were reportedly engaged in diplomatic talks mediated by Oman, with Oman's foreign minister meeting Vice President J.D. Vance just yesterday. So that would have been Friday. The diplomatic sabotage reveals the true priorities of the war makers. The North Carolina Green Party demands immediate ceasefire. The United States and Israel must halt all military operations against Iran immediately before further civilian lives are lost. Congressional action. The U.S. Congress must immediately return to session and vote on Senator Tim Kaine's War Powers resolution to block the use of U.S. forces in hostilities against Iran. Every representative must go on record. Humanitarian access. Ensure unimpeded access for humanitarian aid to all affected civilian populations and safe passage for civilians trapped in conflict zones. Return to diplomacy. All parties must return to diplomatic negotiation with Iran's sovereignty respected, not bombs delivered under the cover of fake negotiations. No war funding. Oppose any and all supplemental military funding packages for further Middle East escalation. Active items for North Carolinians. The North Carolina Green Party calls on North Carolinians who oppose this war to take immediate action. Contact your representatives today. Call and email your U.S. representative and senators. The House and Senate must act now. You can find your representatives at house.gov and senate.gov. Demand they co-sponsor and vote for War Powers resolution to stop unauthorized military action. Attend emergency action. Join peace vigils and anti-war demonstrations in your community tonight, throughout this weekend, next week, and everywhere else in between. Contact local anti-war groups, peace churches, and progressive organizations to coordinate. Amplify peace voices. Share information about the human cost of this war on social media using hashtags No War on Iran, hashtag Operation Epic Fury is War, hashtag Peace with Iran, hashtag Green Party, hashtag NC for Peace. Support humanitarian relief. Donate to organizations providing humanitarian assistance to civilians affected by conflict in the Middle East. And join the North Carolina Green Party. Build a political alternative that refuses corporate war money and commits to diplomacy and peace. Visit our website to get involved. And then a little bit more of this press release, and then I'll get some of the questions in the comments. International condemnation grows. World leaders are responding to today's escalation. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate cessation of hostilities. Russia and China condemned the strikes as a dangerous adventure. France's President Emmanuel Macron warned that the outbreak of war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran carries grave consequences for international peace and security. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced his country rejects the unilateral military action of the United States and Israel. The world is watching, and the world is condemning this action. That's what I said. Also, the question is, will the American people remain silent while our government bombs another country on false pretenses? The Green Party says no. We demand peace now. So that is from the North Carolina Green Party. And saw some things in the chat. Edie says, what's the threat from Iran, let alone imminent? And that is what I have been trying to figure out for a very, very long time as well, because it doesn't seem that there's an imminent threat. And if peace talks were ongoing, and they even said no. I mean, they probably said no to something in the peace talks, doesn't give you the right to bomb them. Absolutely not. And he also said Iran said they would do exactly what they're doing if U.S. attacked them again. And that is absolutely right. The Green Party has been so against this from every perceivable angle you can think of, because it's just not a good thing for us to be doing, going into any of these conflicts with Iran. We saw already what happened with Iraq. I saw a picture, and it had like a ticker on it, like 10 years later or something like that, and it had Iraq and Iran. It was like IRA, and then you could see the Q, and it was ticking up to the N. And I was like, wow, that is exactly what's going on in the Middle East. And the Black Caucus of the North Carolina Green Party also did a press release about what was going on. And I wanted to share this one. Of course, a lot of Green parties are probably doing press releases and things like that. But I wanted to share this one in particular because we don't hear a lot about minorities when it goes to war, except for the fact that people always say that it's the least among us that are going to be cannon fodder. And I hope that is not the case. So with that being said, myself and Michael Dublin are the co-chairs of the North Carolina Black Caucus, and he's also a candidate for the North Carolina District 2. He had his own press conference. We was press releases. We were just like, hey, get this out, Scott, because this is very important to our lives here and abroad. There are, Green Party members that are overseas. There are people who are reporting from not the Green Party, Israel, I've heard. And there are minorities or global majority members that are in Israel for various reasons. And they have been saying things, and the news media doesn't really get that information. So coming from a Green Party's perspective, from the Black Caucus of North Carolina Green Party, just wanted to put that out there as well. We did call for immediate ceasefire and diplomatic resolution. Today, which was yesterday, the Black Caucus of the North Carolina Green Party issues this urgent condemnation of the war initiated on February 28th, 2026. On behalf of our co-chairs, Michael Dublin and Kalia J. Fitzgerald, and our members across the state, we declare our unequivocal opposition to this military action and demand the immediate cessation of hostilities. The Green Party platform is built upon 4 pillars: grassroots democracy, social justice, ecological wisdom, and nonviolence. War stands in direct opposition to every value we hold. It is the ultimate act of violence, when it is always initiated by the powerful, but fought and died for by the poor and working class. Disproportionately, Black and brown communities who fill the ranks of the military while their families struggle for resources back home. Quote, we are witnessing yet another war launched without the consent of the governed, without a congressional declaration, and without regard for human life, unquote, said Michael Dublin, co-chair of the Black Caucus and candidate for U.S. House in North Carolina's 2nd District. The same political establishment that tells Black folks to wait for reparations, wait for health care, wait for student debt relief, they found billions overnight for bombs. This is immoral. As Greens, we are bound by the people, not by the military industrial complex, and the people want peace, said by Michael Dublin. The Black Caucus draws a direct line from the violence of war abroad to the violence of austerity at home. The funds being funneled into this conflict are funds stolen from communities in District 2 and across North Carolina, from underfunded HBUs, from failing infrastructure in Southeast Raleigh, from mental health services, and from the promise of reparations. We must, quote, we must ask, whose interest does this war serve? You've already heard me say that. It's not the interest of Black mothers, of disabled veterans, of union workers, or of small business owners. It serves the defense contractors, the lobbyists, and the politicians who take their money. The Democrat and Republican parties have proven again that they speak the language of empire, not the language of the people. The Green Party is the home for those who reject empire. The Green Party has long advocated for a foreign policy based on diplomacy, international law, and human rights. We call upon the United States government to immediately cease all military actions, pursue immediate diplomatic channels to de-escalate the conflict, redirect military spending toward domestic needs, including reparations, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Bring the troops home. That's near and dear to my heart. Um, the Black Caucus of the North Carolina Green Party stands in solidarity with all people affected by this war, both abroad and here at home. We call on all North Carolinians to join us in demanding peace. The Green Party is the only political party in the United States with a platform that explicitly rejects war and imperialism. Unlike the Democrats and the Republicans, we do not take corporate money and we do not take orders from weapons manufacturers. We answer only to the people. The Black Caucus of the North Carolina Green Party works to advance the Black agenda, including reparations within the Green Party and across the state. We organize for social justice, grassroots democracy, and nonviolence in all forms. So those are two of the press releases. Well, I think I read three at this point that have come out from Green parties in different perspectives. You see a national, you see a state, and you see a caucus. So the Green Party is very active in the things that we do when it comes to this political theater that we are in. I don't like being called a politician because the politicians have such a bad name and a rep when it comes to doing things for the people and actually advocating for what the people want. I prefer to be called a public servant. And it's been pointed out that the Green Party is full of public servants. You will rarely find a politician. And in that respect, it is mainly because we are beholden to the people. And at this point in time, if you look at anything, you will see that the people do not want war. And this can be seen primarily when the war started on the 28th. How many actions were there taken on the 28th to stop what's going on? You had protests and marches coming in from East Coast to West Coast. We are aligned in the same nonviolent stage of wanting to get through what we are calling this Trump administration. But to be clear with everybody involved, this did not start with Trump. This did not start with Trump. This did not start with Trump. I don't know how many times I can say this. This did not start with Trump. It started with Genocide Joe. And we have to remember that this is a bipartisan effort to manipulate things that are going on abroad. Now, when your gas comes in and is a little bit higher, when the food price is a little bit higher, think about what's happening, but don't blame one administration or the other. I've heard people saying that if we would have voted for Kamala, we'd be sipping our mimosas at brunch by now. Well, you're wrong. Kamala said that she would be she would do much more to help is not real. So Israel is not real, whatever you want to call it, it's not real anyway. So blah. So under Kamala, we would not have had any difference. The only candidate that was on that presidential ballot in 2024 that could have helped us, it was Jill Stein and Butch Ware. Okay. Jill Stein as president, Butch Ware as vice president. Those are the only people that were on that ballot that would have been able to stop this. And people say, oh, you should have voted for. No, because you would have gotten the same thing. These parties are the same. If you were paying attention to the press releases, you saw that there was a bill that the Democrats and Republicans could have passed. But what did they do? They went home to see their families. But what about the people who are no longer go home to see their families? If you saw the images of those book bags at that girl's school, then those girls will not be going home to their family. And to strike at a civilian place is beyond what war powers should do. I'm not going to get into the specifics on the in and outs of what was going on. I'm going to leave that to my Green Live Stream folks. But that was a civilian attack. And to say that we have the best military in the world, we're probably at the point where we're not passing these audits because we have the worst military in the world and they cannot even find the right place to attack somebody at. Now, I'm saying this because in Lebanon, Israel was able to target a leader on whatever floor of a building, direct target on him. Israel, when they were in Gaza, were able to direct target on certain people. If we remember, they had those pager bombs, all that stuff. But you're telling me that a calculated attack hit a girls' school on accident. For what reason? Well, if you look at what the interwebs say, it said if you can no longer do the nasty things that were done to those little girls on PDF Island from Jeffrey Epstein, then I guess the only other way to do stuff is to kill them. So, that's horrible, but that is the reality of it. And with the Green Party, we don't do that kind of stuff. That's not our judge. We're not here for it. And as I always tell you guys, anything that I'm saying, you can see it somewhere. So most of the time when we have our little homework sessions, we often go to gp.org and we go under the platforms. So if we are looking under the platforms, you can look at when you go to platforms, you can look at the section 1 for democracy under Part D. That's our foreign policy. So it goes over the authorization of use of military force, defense budget, road to peace in the Middle East, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, foreign policy, trade, human rights, women's rights, Puerto Rican independence, and Kurdistan. Those are all there as well. So that's just basically under democracy. And you'll be able to get more of what we're talking about there. We do also have the section 3, ecological sustainability, that talks about climate change, energy, nuclear issues. So we do have that as well. And then if you go down into the economic justice and sustainability, there are things that would have us looking at that as well, like advanced technology and defense conversion. So there are things under the platform of the Green Party that you can literally set your eyes on and see this is what is going on. And I wanted to do that because it makes a whole heck of a lot of a difference. To anyone that's like asking, where can I find this at? Where can I find that at? You can always find that information under greenparty.org/platforms. And I'm going to put that in the comments section as well. It is gp.org/platform. And you will be able to go through there and look at all those wonderful things that we do have. I think I put gp.org. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure I put it right. So yeah, you'll be able to find all those things there because it's essential that we not just talk the talk. We have to see what's going on because some people are visual learners. So they're like, okay, what's going on? And we're also going to walk the walk. And we do have a lot of Green Party candidates that are coming out for 2026 that would be able to help in these areas. So if you go to, let me see, I'll put this in the chat as well. It is gp.org /2026 _ you'll be able to see that as well. So that will give you a view of who is running in the Green Party for federal positions, local and state positions as well. On the second one, it's like meet our candidate. And that one has our friend Edie on there for running for lieutenant governor of the Illinois Green Party, and she's running with her running mate Griselda Romero as the candidate for governor. There's also Joe Harrington running for the U.S. Senate. Whoop, whoop. So we got a senator on the ballot, just like we have here in North Carolina. We got Brian McGinnis for U.S. Senate. We talked with him last Sunday. Alexandria Keating, Sofiakis. I'm gonna go with that because it sounds right. She's running for U.S. House, Illinois District 10. And then we have Anna Schiffelbaum, who is running for, I can't read that one. Hold on. Anna Schiffelbaum is running for state comptroller. There we go. Timmy Pappas is running for state treasurer, and Jeff Schiffelbaum is running for secretary of state. So those are all Illinois Green Party candidates. We also have Pete Karras, who is running for the Wisconsin Secretary of State. He is running a great race. If you have not been able to check out his campaign, please do so. He is the former campaign manager of goodness gracious, his name is skipping my mind. Chester Todd. Yes, he's the former campaign manager of Chester Todd. I've talked with him before. He's a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. So once again, check out gp.org/2026_candidates, and you will see those candidates that we have out there, such as the endorsement that Butch got from Nina Turner. So I did tell you guys earlier in the conversation, we were going to talk about good old Butch Ware and why he is such an amazing person. And I'm thankful to have him running for sorry about that. I'm grateful to have him running for governor of California so people can actually see what it looks like. And
social housing.
I want to play this. I don't know if you'll be able to see all of it. I'm gonna okay, yeah. I'll put it up here like this so you can see. And I hope you can hear, but this was something that we were talking about from the press release from the Green Party, and I'm just going to play this so you can see it.
What even is that? First, let me tell you what it's not. It's not housing projects. We're not talking about concrete cages for poor folks, and we're not talking about Section 8 either, because that often just becomes a government handout to private slumlords. So what is it? 1, it's publicly owned. 2, it's permanently affordable. 3, it's mixed income, meaning everyone can live there. No flipping it, no speculation, no investor landlords. This is housing to maximize public benefit, not to maximize private profit. And it's how we're going to make sure that every single Californian has a dignified place that they can call home. Don't forget the name. It's Butch Ware. I'm running for governor in the state of California. Join the fight at butchwareforgov.com.
All right. So that was about social housing and it being permanently affordable, sustainable. We haven't heard the term social housing in a while, and I would love to be able to talk with Butch more about it, have him on one of our green media shows so he can talk more about it. But if you are in California, Butch Ware for governor, the vote is June 2nd, 2026. They are 100% grassroots funded. So please help them. They need volunteers for their campaign. Or if you're in the state of California or abroad or wherever, and you want to give your endorsement, you can voice your support for this campaign by going butchware4gov.com. Again, that is butchware4gov.com. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat as well. But it was about social housing. So a lot of people are wondering how these things can be done. Well, you sometimes have to look no further than your Green parties to be able to get a sense of what that means, because the Green Party is eco-socialist. So we're not just talking about doing right for, us as a society. We're talking about doing right for the land that we are on as well. Because if we don't do right by the land, it's not like we have a second option. I don't think that they have colonized Mars yet for us to be able to skedaddle off this planet. So we have to take care of the planet while we are here. And that is something that the Green Party has held steadfastly on when all other parties seem to have cared less. It seems like to me they have some type of secondary plan that does not involve us little weaklings. So we'll see. But that was something that Butch Ware said about social housing.
Social housing. What even is that? First, let me tell you what it's not. It's not housing projects. We're not talking about
that is what a lot of people hear when they're talking about social housing. They think of housing projects, but that is not it. I'm trying to get off of that, but it's just like putting me right back into it every single time. So I just had to turn the volume down. So I apologize about that. But that is basically what you're going to get when we're talking about the Green Party. And this was another good one. I was going to see if I can share my screen because I think it would be so much better if I could put it in here for you all to see versus trying to let you all see it on my phone because it is so great. And so if I do achieve this, just understand that I did it with love because I don't know how I did it actually. Yeah, I wouldn't know how I did it. Mhm. I'm trying. I have so many emails. I have to keep up with them at all times. And I still haven't found the right one. I've been through three already. I think this is the one. Okay. Woo, found it. So I'm hopefully going to be able to show you all um, what I'm looking for. And then once I do that, we can get back to what I was talking about. All right. Okay. Now I'm all right. So now I got to see if I can bring it up so you guys can see it. And we're going to go from there. All right. Let's see. All right. So I got that going on. And um all right. So you guys should be able to see this, and I'm gonna play it. Okay, I'm letting it play through because I just found out how to put it up there for everybody to see. So I'm excited. Don't judge me. So I wanted you to be able to see it. It wasn't showing. I had to make check and make sure. I'm so excited right now. I did something amazing. So anyway, I'm going to show it actually with this now. So here we go. I'm so excited. Y'all can't even imagine the excitement that I have right now because yeah, I did it. I did it. Um it's amazing. I don't know how I worked it out, but I feel much better now that I have and now that I know what to do. Maybe I can have more things happen on here that we can share and stuff like that. So, or maybe when I'm talking about, things that are happening at the Green Party, I can actually have it on here now. So you can actually see it. So I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely excited because I learned that just now. And as you guys can see, I'm easy to excite. So it doesn't take much for me at all. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to try it out one more time, see if it works. So everyone bear with me as I do this because I'm going to try it. All right, so I'm going to do this again and yay, it works. Okay, so remember earlier when I was saying that we would be able to, I would show you how things are. So this is the gp.org that I was talking about. And when I tell you guys to go to platform, it's right here on this page. You can see the platform. And then you'll see that our Green Party pillars are up here. The 4 pillars: democracy, social justice, ecology, and peace. So you'll see those. And when I say section 1 for democracy, here we are right here. And this is what I was talking about in terms of foreign policy. You can see that right here. And we have the road to peace in the Middle East and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And so I showed you guys a lot of different things before, but now that I'm able to know how to show things, I will be able to show you all on my screen now. So I'm so excited. Yeah, you just don't know. Me learning little things like this helps me immensely. So thank you all for bearing with me as I've gone on this technical journey. But these are the things that I was talking about before. And then as far as the candidates, you can go up here to elections, hover over that, and you'll see the 2026 candidates, as we were just talking about. You'll see little articles about here and the wins. As you can see, I was talking about the Illinois Green Party. This is the interview we did there on the Green live stream with Anthony Aguilar. And as you can see, Brian McGinnis for U.S. Senate. We have our veterans for the Green Party. We have Brian McGinnis, Anthony Aguilar, and Michael Dublin. 2 Marines and a Army man. Can I get a hoorah? Hoorah. There are 2 different things, please believe. And then we have Jeffrey Stoker. He's also an anti-war veteran. And as I said, Nina Turner endorsing Balaware, Dr. Butchware. So those are there. And for all of our haters, doubters, and anyone else in between, victories. You can go to our victories page and you can see what our victories look like. Our election winners are here from so many different things. The Green Party of California had a lot of candidates to secure offices for 14 local office seats, 2 city council, 4 school board, 5 water or irrigation board, and 3 additional positions. A special shout out to Randy Marks, who received the highest number of votes, totaling 2,644 for the Fair Oaks Water District Division 4 seat in Sacramento County. So as you can see, we have things going there. And we also have 2 citywide partisan posts where we have outpolled the Republican Party in D.C. For the delegate to the U.S. House, we have Green nominee Kimoni Freeman. Give it up for Kimoni. He received 21,873 votes. And Republican nominee Myrtle Patricia Alexander received 19,765 votes. And as you can see there, we also have Daryl Mooch. So we have a lot of different things as far as wins. Like you can see here, the Green Party of Minnesota endorsed candidate Samantha Breed Stinson made history by becoming the first Black and Latino woman elected to the Minneapolis Board of Estimation and Taxation. She went live after the election to talk about the victorious moment. So you can go on here and listen to those things because they happen. We win. We have victories. We are worldwide. So these are the things that I talk about so much, and the places that I go to. And when I talk to you about different things, like when I tell you to go to the about and the state parties, wonderful thing I like about this map is it is interactive. So I'm in North Carolina. So if I click on North Carolina, it's going to show me the information for the North Carolina Green Party. So it's going to come up, and here we have the North Carolina Green Party website. So you would have all the social media stuff there, but that is one part of it. And if you scroll down, you can also see verified information. So this is big for me to talk about on Green Party Tea, and it's 7, so we're going to jet out. But you can get verified information as far as any of their Facebook groups, Facebook page, Twitter, social media, phone numbers, addresses, email addresses, any of that stuff. So back to the studio, boss. We are going to end everything here because it's 7 and we're going over to the Green live stream. Google Illinois Green live stream or Green live stream. YouTube, here we come. We're going out and we're going to them. Have a great Sunday. Green Party 2 will be back next week when I know new things now. And we are going to do some wonderful, wonderful things. Have a nice evening. See you on over at Green live stream.